I have my little coffee right here. Let me see if I'm recording. Am I recording? I am recording. Good morning, everyone. Today I wanted to make a little video about the top 5 books that every artist should read. It's really hard to make a list of the books that everyone should read, especially artists, because artists, we're all over the place. There are different types of artists. We have people who are really creative, people who are really analytical, people who are more into business, others who are more into expression, others who are more into skill, for example. But I actually do love the fact that we can make a little list for ourselves. And I think these books are really strong, and they're not really complicated. I've seen people that they publish magazines and they sell you workshops for thousands of dollars. Most of these people that go to workshops, they're elderly, they're retired people, and they charge them so much, an arm and a leg, for some sort of attention or something. And as a community of artists, there's something about it that it rubs me the wrong way. I don't want to be associated with. I don't want to be that person that sells you an apron with the name National Association of Amazing Sunlight Painters, and every single year, you change the name. This year the workshop is going to be the arm, because every artist paints arms. The next year is going to be the plein air competition of intelligent Manchester people, or whatever. Every different year, and then there are people who are really out there just to make a lot of money, and that's the bottom line. There's people out there who are just thinking about how they can extract the most amount of money. And so I wanted to make a little list of books that I think are most important, in my opinion. The first one is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Paulo Coelho, in my opinion, is it's a great introduction to that question of what are we here for, what is my purpose, especially as an artist, because we have to fight with the notion that whatever we do is not as important. The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Paulo Coelho was a taxi driver, and all his life he wanted to be a writer, and that was his dream, but he felt like he wasn't good enough. His idea was so stupid, and everybody rejected him in Brazil. It was really hard for a Brazilian author to become world renowned, because that just simply didn't happen. So nobody had the notion that was possible. So he fought through it, and he was rejected so many times until one small editorial press decided to publish his book, The Alchemist, and then he sold out immediately, kept on printing, and now it's in the top 10, one of the most read, beloved, and sold books of all time. The second book that I want to mention is Anything You Want by Derek Sivers. Anything You Want is an amazing small autobiography about a guy who started as a clown presenter in a circus and ended up selling his company to Steve Jobs for millions of dollars. And then he ended up traveling to Cambodia and China and different places in the world. This guy is super intelligent, and he writes this blog, and he's a true artist. He was a musician, and he started this company where he was selling millions of dollars a year, and in MP3s or digital downloads as music. This is a great book about how to manage a business and how to do it from a artist's perspective, not from a strict boring perspective, but actually trying to push yourself to do different things, how life really expands as much as you want it to be. The third book that I want to mention is The Art of Asking. It's an amazing book. I love this book by Amanda Palmer. The Art of Asking is about the sequences of events that happened from a street performer that was a giant bride. They call it the 8-foot giant bride, who would not move, and she was sweating, and she found this dress on a thrift store, and then just asking for money. And in her mind, she was doing a street performer. Every time somebody stopped, then and to give her a dollar or so, she will give her this flower. So The Art of Asking is an amazing book about why artists feel that guilt about asking for a prize, for like everything. You know, it feels like it's something wrong that we're supposed to give things away for free, which in reality it shouldn't be, because we are here for a reason. And if you know, we shouldn't be confined to do things for free and stuff like that. In this book, she mentions how she collected millions of dollars for different projects, and then she would fly to different parts of the world and form a band right there and then. And she's an amazing creative person. She's a true artist, and I love this book for that reason. Please give it a try. That book is it's an amazing. Especially all of these books are amazing in audiobook form. I think, in my opinion, they're the best. The third book is The Abundance of Less by Andy Caudill. This is a collection of 12 different visits to 12 different families in Japan. They're all, most of them, they're different types of artists. Some of them are poets, the other ones are printmaker, an activist, a pottery maker, a painter, a physicist. I've read this book more than 6 times, I believe, and one of my all-time favorite books. I usually try to read this book at once a year at least, and I also listen to it on an audiobook, and it is so packed with good advice. A lot of these people are farmers. They cultivate their own tea, and they take life very slowly, and they still are producing art and doing exhibitions, and they're really, really intelligent. Most of these people, they speak a couple different languages. Like I remember one guy who went to Nepal, who took a train to India. He ended up in Nepal, and then he learned in the temples, he learned how to make books and printmaking. So all of this intricate printmaking art takes a long time and a lot of meditation. So the art making process, something where you use your hands, takes a part of our brain that works as meditation. So it actually makes you think more clear. It actually makes you speak with a more deep, because you're thinking about things, about life, about your troubles and all these things. It's like a prayer, it's like a meditation, which I love. So the other book that I wanted to mention is On the Shortness of Life by Seneca. It's a great book. It talks to you about the 24 hours that everybody has. Some people really waste those 24 hours. Some people really push it to the maximum. So 24 hours could be a lifetime for somebody who knows how to use it. And this book has a lot of Stoic philosophy in it. It has a little bit of poetry in it, and it has a really nice tone when you listen to it. You can listen to it for free on YouTube. You just type On the Shortness of Life by Seneca, and you will hear, it's like a friend telling you stories and talking to you. 2 last books besides the top 5 that everybody should read that I feel that are important too. The first one is The World of Art. It's a really important book on the perspective of a professional, how you should behave, how, like, when you start a project, you should always try to finish it, how to fight that police in your mind that tells you that you're fake, that what you're doing is not right, or it's not good enough, or the things that they try to push you away from finishing projects and things. So you should always push yourself. The World of Art is super important. If you want to add it to the list, it's very important. And the other one is Everything I Know by Paul Jarvis. Everything I Know has a lot of really good advice about craziness, finishing projects too. Like, this is more of a marketing and artist perspective. This guy loves to write books. He loves to make workshops, and he loves to put out websites and stuff. Like, you would see examples like, why, instead of waiting 4 years to launch a website, why don't you do 30 websites in a week? That type of mentality that pushes you and says, you know what, that's totally right. Why don't I think that way? Everything I Know by Paul Jarvis is a great additional book to the list. And that's it, guys. I think with this short list of books, I think you could really push yourself to another perspective, as an artist. Like, start a little business on the side, or like continue to push your portfolio to presentations. There are many things that people can do, and I want to do another video about it. So I want to do another video about like how to prepare a number one, a portfolio, and number two, how to prepare a curriculum, a list of shows, you know, should you read for magazines, articles, and all these types of things. These are really important for me. And so if you have any questions, please, you know, I'm going to put my email down there, and you can also comment and just leave a question if you have any question, and I'm going to try to do my best to answer them. So thank you so much, guys, and cheers, guys.